Hi there. Let's talk a bit more in detail on how you can customize your MCP server. By default, you can go create a configuration, create a standard configuration, name it any way you like, and you can add all the API pages that you have in the system. By default, you will have those that Microsoft provides. You can also add all standard APIs as tools, and then you will have all of your talking points in here. What is API page compared to the regular page? Let's have a look on the regular page, like items. When we open it, we see the items and we know what we are dealing with. We see some fields with the descriptions. We can point and see the tooltips, what is there. API page is very similar. It's just some points that we expose for the outside world to be able to connect to. Just a bit different name. Now, API pages that Microsoft provides, it's a lot, but they are not everything. On top of it, you can have some customized fields and you would like to surface them as well. Unfortunately, API pages from Microsoft are not extensible, so you will need to create a new talking point for every each page that you would like to change, customize, add information to, so on. Let's see how it's done. In Visual Studio Code, you can create a new extension and create an API page. Very simple one. You do API group publisher, how you name your tenants, all the nice and clear stuff, and then describe the fields that you want this page to display. Now, two important things to remember when you create an API page specifically for MCP server, that you need to explain or ground MCP server what this page is about. It's not an integration you are creating a bit more context around it. You can think in this regard, API page is a topic. What this page can talk about, give it a small summary. And this can be done with this description. So now you can do like, this page is a BOM component. It can view or edit the bill of materials that specify which items and resources are required to assemble the item. Now, when I tried to play around with this page in MCP in a Copilot Studio, I figured out that my my description needed refinement, and I also added answer the question, what components and resources are needed to build this item. So this is kind of a brief summary of a topic. Do I need to read it? Can I skip it? Do I need another topic to answer my specific question? This is what a MCP server will look when it will try to orchestrate to which topic to open. Now, on top of it, you would like to have a description on every field. So yes, this is my talking point. This is my chapter where I can talk about the BOM components. But what are the fields I about? So when user asks me a question, what field should I show them, right? So then you go and you add the descriptions inside each field. You can do a very simple way. You can use a very simple way to do it. You open the page that Microsoft provides us, right? So yes, we will go, we are already in the items, so we can then drill down in the assembly BOM page. So what I expect my new page to show is something like this, and being able to answer questions about the assembly BOM. Microsoft did a very nice job making our software more intuitive and less prone to the errors, so they added as all tooltips. What the type is, what is the description, what is the quantity per, what is installed in item, and so on. You can copy paste those description right into your code here and be happy with that. Once you publish the extension to Business Central, you can add all those talking points to new MCP configuration. And that is what I did. Let's have a look. So I have one more configuration that I've called assembly. And I've added a couple of the talking points here. I want my extension to be able to talk about the sales assembly orders and lines. I want to see if there are any assemble to order sales headers, maybe some dimensions, bins, price list, and so on, and of course customers, right? I made it active and I made dynamic tool mode so it will be easier to discover. I didn't do discover additional objects. This is due that I want my talking points to be precisely this. I don't want people who use in my agent to be able to answer some journal entry or budget questions. So I want it to be specifically this. My book of topics has only these chapters. Now let's go to Copilot Studio and see how I did the agent. It's a very simple agent. Microsoft does so much for us in terms of get it started. I have my tool here that is actually connected to my environment. The same environment, I have my admin here. When you do the create the connection, it will allow you to select from the drop down the environment. It will as well allow you to select from the drop down the company name. MCP server configuration, you will need to copy paste from the name that you gave it in the Business Central. Now, in my overview of the agent, I added very simple instructions that I don't want my agent to go anywhere else except Business Central. So I said to it, you will always use your Business Central MCP preview. And by default, you have GBT41, and it's even marked as a default here. I played with all of them, and I find that Cloud Opus experience is more persistent. GPT-5 reasoning is good too. The difference between the two for the user who is not into LLMs too deep, Claude is more talkative. And by more talkative, I mean it describes what it does. And by that, you actually see its train of thoughts. And it's nice. And you can troubleshoot if it goes in the right direction for you. Let's see how that works. Now I prepared simple prompt. Where did it go? Because I don't want to type. I just want to copy paste. I'm a lazy person. Show me what do I need to assemble item 1969, please. So what it does first, it tries to initialize the tool right away, and it shows me what it wants to do. So user wants to see the components. Let me search in Business Central. Very nice. So it tries to search in a Business Central. It found BOM components. Very good. Now I can invoke the section. So it found the correct chapter, and it tries to filter. You see, I was very specific with the name, with the item number. That's because our token points can be filtered, but when it creates a filter, it creates it very specifically. So if I miss something, that will be bad, it won't be finding it. All right, so it found my BOM, and nice, there is a resource, there is 2 items. Let's see if it actually did a good job, right? So we will go to my items. I will take exactly the same item and place it in the search. And we will drill down into the assembly BOM. Perfect. I have 2 items, I have resource, and I have 1 more item. Let's try to change it to see that it actually real life thing, right? I will put some other resource in here, Lena. And Lena is more proficient in this, so she will take 1 hour and a half. Now, I want to ask my pilot, please check if anything has changed on this BOM. Let's see if it will find some changes for us. So it explains the train of thoughts that I should look for the modification for this item. This what was before. It found out the modification point. It says it was 3 days ago. Very nice. All right, so Marty added 2 hours of labor and it changed on February 6th. It didn't count my changes that I made just now. Let's ask it. Check it out, please. The reason why it actually capable of finding the times of the modification is because in my API page, I exposed two fields, and that is system created and that is system modified and. Those two fields, you always, on all the records of Business Central, you will have those two fields. And if you expose them through the API, you will be able to see what are the changes. Still wants a Marty. It's interesting. Probably need to leave the page. I'm on the same item. Yeah, maybe it didn't recode. Let's do. It even says to me, if you made changes, maybe they are not have been saved yet. So now I can see the changes. So I didn't leave the page and it did an update. And it found that the Marty was there for 2 hours and then the Lena was now is there for 1 hour and a half. Okay, can I help you with anything else? Let's see. So the Claude Opus is very smart. It takes a lot of time to think it through, but the results are terrific. Do I have any shortages for this components? I deliberately use completely different language that we have in a Business Central. How you would do that in a Business Central, right? You will go and you will find inventory or quantity on hand. You will go and find all the sales orders that are there. Let's see. So it found the list of the items. Very good. Because my list of the items actually expose some of the shortages. It shows me that it found some of the additional elements, quantity on sales order, and it showed me some descriptions, right? Let's see. So I have list of the items, page 62 of 4. Let's flip to Visual Studio Code, sorry, and find this page. Here we go. Here is my SSI items. API page for items contain quantity on hand for the inventory related fields, assembly BOM information and such. I have some descriptions there, but not all. But it knows that the quantity and QT is the same thing, so it was smart enough to find it. Okay, so it found the inventory. Look, it's very competent, not only to find the inventory, it also pulled me the reorder point, the description, and then there is a shortages and such. Now, let's see if it will react in a good way. Do I have any purchase orders for those items? These show expected receipt date. This time I've been very specific. An expected receipt date is something very specific to Business Central. On the purchase order line, we can have different type of the dates when we have a plan to arrive, when we have expected receive date, and so on. And I wanted to see specifically this information. Okay, I found the purchase order lines for the components. Let me present in a nice way. So while it's still thinking, let's flip to the Business Central. And do our due diligence to double check if it's correct. So I will go on the item, one of the components, and as you know, we have quantity on the purchase order here. I can drill down, I can show document, and let's see what do we have an expected receipt date actually. So I have January and end of March. Okay, good job, Aja. March, and it's overdue in January, so we have not yet received it, but we have to have it in January. All right, so this is very nice, right? It not only went for me on the shortages to see how much the inventory is, it also pulled me the order point. On top of that, it did me the detailed analysis, and it also pulled the assembly orders in if there is something in there, right? So it takes into consideration a lot of things, a lot of points that you should be able to consider as well. I did the shortages. I didn't ask if Lena is there, right? And it was smart enough to exclude Lena resource. So let's wrap up. In case you need to extend your MCP configuration, you want one more token point, you want one more field for it to reason about, and you want to give it additional description, you will create a new API page through the extension. You will go and add this page a small description. What is this page about, right? What is a summary of this small topic that your MCP can reason about? You will add a description of each field. And when it's your field, you know it well. When it's field from the Business Central, you can copy paste the tooltip the Microsoft provided. Or if your users use this in some other way, like for example, item attributes in most case scenarios is used for the coloring in your situation. Give it the proper description, give it the name, give it how your users will know or will ask a question about it. Thank you for watching. Bye.